Hi, my name is Renee Randolph. I'm the culinary arts instructor here at the Arlington Career Center. Welcome to the virtual Arlington County Fair. All right, guys, so you've had the opportunity to watch our amazing Arlington Career Center culinary students and alumni make some really cool fair food. They put the pressure on me and did an amazing job with their demo. I'm going to do my best to show you my take on fair food. And I couldn't think of anything more fair food than funnel cakes. But we're going to shake it up just a little bit. We'll do it the traditional way. And then for a little fun, we'll do a second batch and we'll do those as red velvet funnel cakes. Just to give you two different variations of ways you can do this fair food at home. So our batter ingredients for the traditional funnel cake are going to be milk, and I'm using whole milk, 3/4 of a cup or 170 grams. We have 1 egg, all-purpose flour, a cup. We have baking powder, sugar, cinnamon, salt, and vanilla. Now this is enough for 4 funnel cakes. If you would like to make more, then you can go ahead and double that recipe. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get started. So for all our baking experts out there, you guys already know funnel cake batter is a quick bread. And so the quick bread mixing method that we're going to use today is the blending method. And that's just a fancy way of saying we're going to take all of the dry ingredients like our flour and our sugar and our baking powder and salt, and we're going to sift them all together. And then we're going to take our liquid ingredients, our milk, our eggs, our vanilla extract, and we'll combine all of that, and then we'll mix the two together. Very similar to what you would do to make pancake batter. And in fact, funnel cake really is like a pancake batter. Okay, so let's get started on our blending mixing method. Okay, so we're going to take our flour, baking powder, salt, cinnamon, our sugar, and our remaining flour. We're going to add that all in, and then we're going to push that through our sieve. And the idea is that we just want to get out all of the big lumps. We want to evenly incorporate the ingredients. All right, and so our liquid ingredients are going to be our milk, our egg, and our vanilla extract. And we're going to give that a good whisk. Once we have our liquid ingredient mix and our dry ingredient mix, we'll make a little well or a hole. Add our liquid ingredients in. And then we'll whisk to combine. But I don't want you to overmix because then your dough, your batter, will become tough. So we're going to mix it just until blended, and then we're going to let this batter rest. And what that does is it allows the flour to absorb all of the moisture. Don't worry about if you still see some lumps in that batter. As it rests, that moisture will absorb and the flour will incorporate nice and well. So we'll let that rest for a few minutes while we check on our oil. All right, guys, so our batter has rested. If you have a funnel at home, feel free to use that. I don't happen to have a funnel, so I'm using a piping bag, and I've cut a small, maybe 1/4 of an inch hole at the bottom. I have my oil hot and ready to go. You want that oil right at 375 degrees. And what you're going to do is release the hole and begin to make a circle motion with that batter. And just kind of go back and forth to try to connect your cake. And once you feel like you have a good connection of all your pieces, and you're happy with the thickness of that cake, you can stop the funnel. You're going to cook it on the first side for about 2 minutes. Get a nice golden brown color, and then you're going to flip it to the second side. You'll notice I have set up here a drip tray all ready to go. It's really important that everything is laid out and ready to go before you get started, because when working with hot oil, it's very dangerous and you want to work carefully and quickly. So I'm going to do a color check, and I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to give it a careful flip. When you go to make your second batch, it's really important that you allow that grease to recover its heat. So during the cooking process, the heat will drop below 375. When you remove your funnel cake from the pan, allow that grease to recover back up to 375 before you start to cook the next batch. And then again, we're going to carefully lift up our funnel cake. It's the extra large. This is the one that I would order. We're going to put it on our drip pan so that any excess oil can drain off. And we'll be sure to remove any little stray pieces of funnel cake that are left behind in that oil, because the longer it remains in that oil, the darker it becomes. It starts to burn. It gets a bitter flavor infused into the oil, and then that transfers to the next batches of funnel cakes that you make, which we don't want. For garnish, first off, it wouldn't be a funnel cake if we didn't have powdered sugar. So we'll start there first. We'll get a nice snowstorm of powdered sugar. And then I happen to have raspberry mousse today, so we're going to top it off with some fresh raspberry mousse. And then we'll finish it with some fresh fruit that I happen to have here. So we've got blackberries and strawberries and blueberries. Just a bunch of healthy stuff to top off this not so healthy but oh so delicious Fair Carnival favorite. And there we go. So this is our take on a traditional funnel cake. So now, just to give it a new flair, not really new, to give it a different flair, we're going to take the same process, but this time, instead of doing a regular flavored funnel cake, we're going to do a red velvet funnel cake. And what's red velvet cake without the cream cheese frosting? I don't know, so we're going to put that on the funnel cake as well. So stay tuned and we'll get that for you. Okay, so we're all set up and ready to go with our ingredients for our red velvet funnel cake with the cream cheese topping. Okay, so we're going to start with our dipping sauce this time. And so we have 4 ingredients for that. We have our heavy cream, we have cream cheese, vanilla extract, and our sugar. And so step 1 in this process, we're going to take our cream cheese and we're going to whisk that together with our sugar and our vanilla extract. And you just want to whisk until it's a nice creamy, evenly blended consistency. Now the ingredient or the recipe that I am sharing with you all actually makes 2 to 4 funnel cakes. So if you'd like to make more, of course, you can double that recipe. So this is what we're looking for on our cream cheese blend. And then we're going to set that aside, and we're going to whip our heavy cream. Little trick when you're whipping heavy cream: cold bowl, cold whisk, it will come together faster. And so we're going to whip that cream to soft peak consistency. So I've had this bowl and the whip attachment in the fridge chilling. I'm going to go ahead and add my heavy cream. And we're going to whip that mixture to soft peak consistency. And so here's our whipped heavy cream. And now what we're going to do is fold the heavy cream mixture into our softened cream cheese mixture. And then we're just going to fold that mixture together. Be careful as you're folding. You don't want to deflate all of the air that you just incorporated into the heavy cream. So you want to give it a good even blend so that it's one evenly blended mixture, but careful not to deflate. And this is the cream cheese topping that we'll use to top our beautiful red velvet funnel cakes. Go ahead and cover this with plastic wrap and keep it in the refrigerator until you are ready to plate your funnel cakes. Another point I wanted to share with you guys is if you don't have a stand mixer at home, not a problem. You can still make whipped cream. What you're going to do is you're going to take 2 metal bowls. In the bottom or the first metal bowl, you're going to place ice. Then you're going to sit the second metal bowl on top. This is where your cream is going to go, and you can whisk by hand. Now it's going to take a little longer, twice, maybe even longer, as it would with your stand mixer, but it will whip for you and turn into that cream consistency. Just be mindful that the ice that you're using, you're not using so much that when it melts, it laps up into your bowl, because that will ruin your whipped cream, okay? So don't have to have a stand mixer to make whipped cream. Just like with our previous batch of funnel cake batter, we're going to use the blended mixing method to make our batter. So what does that mean we're going to do first? We're going to take our dry ingredients. We're going to sift them all together. Flour. This is our baking soda, as well as our baking powder, our cinnamon, excuse me, not cinnamon, our cocoa powder, sugar, salt, and our remaining flour. And you may be asking yourself, why did I take the time to put the flour in 2 different batches? And the reason is, I like to do that because I want to make sure that all of the ingredients are evenly incorporated. And if I were to dump all of the flour in at one time, then all of the other ingredients would just kind of sit on top or sit underneath of all of the flour. If I put it in the middle, it's a little more evenly mixed. Another way you could go about doing it is taking all of the ingredients, dump them into the bowl, and then use a whisk to stir and combine. I like to do this way, using the sieve to strain those ingredients and incorporate a little more air to them, and take out any potential lumps that may have developed in any of the ingredients. So there's our dry ingredients. Our liquid ingredients are going to be our milk. We're actually using buttermilk for this recipe. Another little trick for you If you don't have buttermilk at home, but you have regular milk, take your cup of milk, add to it 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, and allow it to sit for a few minutes, and then it is buttermilk. We're also using our vanilla extract, 1 egg, and our red food coloring. Now this particular formula or recipe calls for 2.5 tablespoons of food coloring. However, that is those liquid drops of food coloring. I'm using gel food coloring, so I'm using just a little bit less because it is a little more efficient, okay? So we'll go ahead and add our food coloring. And then we're going to whisk those liquid ingredients together. As you can see, that red gel food coloring is pretty strong, which is why, again, I didn't use the full 2.5 tablespoons. And so now we're going to take our liquid ingredients and fold it into our dry ingredients. So we create a well. Pour in all of our liquid ingredients. Make sure you scrape down that bowl because we want to get all the color out. One thing about color, you can always add more to it if you're not happy with it. But once you've gotten to a point where your color is too much or you potentially have altered the flavor, there's not much you can do to your batter. And so we'll go ahead and fold in and again, we don't want to over mix. We want to blend or fold in just until it's evenly blended. When you over mix batters, they become tough and kind of like rubbery and chewy when you go to bite into them. We want them tender, meaning they kind of melt in your mouth. All right, and so now we have completely blended in our mixture. I can see my color now, and I think I'm happy with it. So we're gonna let this batter rest. We're all set up. We have our oil at 375. We have our batter and our bag. Again, you could use your funnels if you have them. I just don't happen to have one. I'm using a piping bag. You could also use Ziploc bags. You just want something that you can have an opening that's about 1/4 inch thick. And then you're going to begin to drop your batter in a circular motion. And you make sure you have about 2 inches worth of oil because we want that funnel cake to be able to float. All right. We're not going to let it go as long as we did for the regular funnel cake because I don't want to lose that beautiful red color because it browns too much. And we'll lay that on our drip pan and we have our beautiful red funnel cake. Remember, when you make your second funnel cake, that funnel cake needs, or excuse me, that oil needs to recover in heat. Needs to get back up to 375, or what's going to happen is if it's below 375, the oil, the batter, when you drop it, is going to soak up and hold a lot of the oil. And then when you go to bite into your funnel cake, you get a mouthful of grease or oil. So make sure that oil has an opportunity to recover to 375. Okay, so our funnel cake is, our red velvet funnel cake is all complete and ready for garnish. So, white plate, Plain on a white canvas, build on a white plate. So we'll take our, actually before we put it on our plate, let's do our powdered sugar. And that way, we don't get random powdered sugar on our plate. Now we'll go ahead and put that on our plate. And then we will add a rosette of our cream cheese dip. Okay. We will add some fresh strawberries. And I have a little sprig of mint here. I won't use all of this. So we'll go mint. Strawberries. And then we'll, of course, drizzle some chocolate ganache. And because I have it, and so there is our finished red velvet funnel cake. So I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you to Arlington County Parks and Rec for this awesome virtual county fair. Thank you to our amazing students, Nicole Perez, as well as Sajid, our alumni from the Culinary Arts program, who's doing big things over at the Culinary Institute of America. And just a big shout out to all of the amazing staff and students that are over at the Arlington Career Center. High school students, parents of high school students, loved ones, people who care about high school students. There are amazing things going on over at the Arlington Career Center. If you're the type of person who loves to learn through hands-on instruction, we've got some fantastic programs that I encourage every Arlington County high school student to take advantage of. Arlington Parks and Rec, you guys have been fantastic to the Arlington Career Center, and we look forward to continuing to work with you and provide opportunities to showcase the amazing things that our students are doing. So enjoy the rest of the fair. Thank you all for watching. One other thing, and this is important, no matter what you cook at home, no matter where you cook, smile when you cook and your food will taste better. Take care, everybody.